Trigger warning. The following presentation contains sensitive content about bullying, including violence and death. Some viewers may find this emotionally distressing. Please take care of yourself and feel free to pause or seek support if needed. Have you ever witnessed someone being bullied at school? Or worse, have you been a victim yourself? Nakakalungkot isipin pero maraming estudyante ang nawawala sa eskwelahan. Hindi dahil sa mga lessons, kundi dahil sa sakit na dulot ng pang-aapi. Let's start with definition. According to Marshall Sessler 2022, physical bullying is when someone uses their body or an object to intentionally hurt, scare, or control another person. Examples include hitting, kicking, pushing, or even destroying personal belongings. Madalas paulit-ulit ito at ginagawa ng isang taong may kapangyarihan sa biktima. Now, you may ask, why do we need to talk about this as future values education teachers? Or teachers in general? Because we are not just teaching lessons. We are shaping lives. Bilang mga magiging guro sa edukasyon sa pagpapahalaga, we must uphold respect, empathy, and kindness in every individual or in our classroom. Hindi sapat na basta lang tayo reactive. We need to be proactive. We need to prevent bullying by building a school culture that values people. Now, let's ground this discussion in reality. Let's talk about one case that shook the world, especially in the US. This is the case of Diego Stolz. In 2019, a 13-year-old named Diego Stolz was studying at Landmark Middle School in California. After his parents passed away, he was being raised by his auntie and uncle, Juana and Felipe Salcedo. Sadly, Diego became a victim of physical bullying. He was sucker punched in the head by two classmates. Cell phone videos show him with his hands by his side, not wanting to fight. But he was attacked anyway. Result? Diego hit his head on a concrete pillar, suffered a traumatic brain injury, and died 9 days later. His family had already complained to the school multiple times before this attack happened, but nothing was done. There's no initiative by the school. In the end, the family reached a $27 million legal settlement, the largest ever in a bullying-related case. Now, let's analyze this case. What really went wrong? First of all, let's talk about the root causes. Number one is the lack of intervention. The school knew about the bullying but took no serious action. Pangalawa, poor school culture. Students feel unsafe and complaints were ignored. Kagaya sa case ni Diego, hindi sila pinakinggan. Or baka pinakinggan din pero walang ginawa. So hindi pa rin na-prevent ang bullying sa school. Number 3 is the negligent supervision. The attack happened during lunch. Where were the teachers or the staff? Nasaan sila noong mga oras na yon? Bakit wala man lang supervision ng kahit ano or kahit sinong staff na nandoon sa cafeteria? Now let's talk about if this has something to do with the school. If this is a failure or a success of a school. But obviously, this is a failure. First of all, there's no disciplinary action against the bullies. Hinayaan lang nila after nila mag-complain. Pangalawa, broken promises, like schedule changes. Sinabi din sa news na pinangako ng principal na babaguhin yung schedule ni Diego because of his experiences sa bullying. Pangatlo, no safety review despite the prior incidents. Ang daming complaints ni Diego, pero wala man lang action. Hindi man lang naging awareness yon para sa school. na sana hindi ulit mangyari, pero nangyari kay Diego. So, let's talk about the impact of this incident to everyone, for the victim and to the bullies. For Diego, the short-term effect of this incident was fear, anxiety, and trauma. And siguro isama na natin yung takot niya na pumasok sa school. But despite of that, he continued to go to school. And the long-term effect is, unfortunately, his death. Naging cause ng pambubuli sa kanya. And now for the bullies naman, the short-term effect is the juvenile custody and the anger management. Sinabi doon na meron lamang silang 47 days sa juvenile and mag-undergo sila ng anger management. Ayun yung magiging long-term effect, ang short-term effect for them. While for the long-term, siguro yung public shame, criminal records, even though minor pa sila, nakatatak na sa pangalan nila yon. And of course, the emotional consequences. Possible na pagsisisihan nila yung ginawa nila kay Diego, and also magiging lesson yun for them. Kung nakinig lang sana ang paaralan, kung may kaunting malasakit lang sana, baka buhay pa si Diego that time at until ngayon. Now, let's talk about the laws and policies and what can we do and what must we do as an individual, not just as a teacher, because everyone has the ability or the capabilities to stop this kind of incident, no? We must uphold the values of empathy and respect towards another. So now, let's talk about the policies, the legal basis for this. Republic Act number 10627 or the Anti-Bullying Act of 2013 here in the Philippines, no? It requires all schools to prevent and address bullying. Pangalawa, it defines physical bullying clearly. Pangatlo, it mandates clear reporting, investigation, discipline, and counseling. Kung i-compare natin siya kay Diego, nilabag nila ang Republic Act number 10627. Even the schools, dahil walang proper process na nangyari sa kaso ni Diego. And he was ignored kahit na ang dami niya ng complaint and nung family niya sa nangyari. Na-prevent pa sana. Pangalawa, the DepEd Order number 55 series of 2013. It focuses on creating a safe school environment and requires anti-bullying committees, awareness programs, and documentation of cases. The DepEd Order number 55 is highly anchored on the Republic Act number 10627. Nabuo itong DepEd Order para mas mapagtibay yung Republic Act number 10627. This is mandated to all school, no, regardless of being private or public. Number 3 is the Republic Act number 7610. It protects children from all forms of abuse, including bullying. It provides legal actions and penalties for causing emotional or physical harm. And lastly, the UNICEF Child Protection Strategy of 2021 to 2030. Global Vision for a Safe and Abuse-Free Childhood promotes prevention, safe schools, and changing harmful norms, and urges school, government, and communities to act together. So basically, the UNICEF Child Protection Strategy is a whole school approach. Hindi lang siya nakapokus sa school dahil ini-engage or nire-require ng UNICEF na mag-contribute upang ma-prevent yung mga ganitong cases and also to protect the children from harmful effects of bullying, not just bullying or any forms of violence. These laws are not just papers. As teachers, we must implement them. Dapat alam natin ang batas at marunong tayong rumisponde. Now, hindi lang tayo magkakwento or hindi lang natin pag-uusapan ang laws. Laws alone are not enough for us to understand what is bullying. Ano ba ang sinasabi ng research? Dapat merong research. According to Maximo and Loy 2014, isa sa mga effective studies upang ma-solusyonan or ma-address ang bullying ay ang positive parent-child attachment and supportive parenting styles to reduce bullying. It involves parents to teach empathy at home, not just at school. So, hina-highlight dito ng study na to na dapat mag-umpisa sa bahay yung pagtuturo ng values. Dapat na nakikita sa mga parents yung mabuting asal para matutunan ng bata. Second study is from Salmi Valley et al. Of 2021. Dito sinasabi na multi-component programs like those involving students, peers, and parents are most effective. Tailor them to age and individual traits. No? So dito sinasabi yung mga iba-ibang programa na maaring makatulong or mag-promote tayo ng mga programs na ma-orient not just the student but also the parents and the teachers kung paano ba mape-prevent ang bullying. Third study is from Sainz and Martin Moya of 2023. According to this study, whole school programs like TEI, Kiva, and mediation teams help reduce bullying. It must be structured, evidence-based, and mandatory implementation, which results to a better results. In short, programs must be comprehensive, sustained, and personalized to each schools. Depende sa kung ano yung pangangailangan ng school at kung ano yung profile ng mga bata. And as future education major in values education, tayo magiging frontliners dito, aside from their parents. Let's end this with a hard truth and a hopeful call to action. For conclusion, bullying is not just a bad experiences. It's a life-altering and even life-ending reality for some students. The case of Diego Stoll shows us what happens when schools stay silent. Even the staffs or the teachers. Hindi sapat ang paalala. Hindi sapat ang awareness lang. Dapat may gawa. Hindi lang slogan. Bilang guro, ang ating papel ay hindi lang magturo ng subject. We are here to protect, to educate, to inspire kindness, and to set as an example for the students. Together with this law like Anti-Bullying Act and global movements like UNICEF's Child Protection Strategy, we can make the school safe. Let's create classrooms where kindness is cool. Let's create schools where everyone belongs. Now, before we end this discussion, I would like to share this quote of mine. In a world that can be unkind, be the reason someone still believes in goodness. Let that be your mission bilang isang guro, bilang isang estudyante at higit sa lahat bilang isang tao. Let us not wait until another child like Diego suffers. Let's start acting now. That is all for our discussion for today. Thank you.